All right, we in the building. Put your joints up. You better put your joints up. You know what I mean? If you from where I'm from, put your joints up, man. You don't let nobody walk up on you, man, and do you dirty like that. This is Down to In Sports Talk, man. Friday night edition. We in the building. News gonna come at you hard body. We still coming at you hard body with the Western Conference preview. I am left-handed RM Des on Twitter. That over there is the homie, the main macaroni in the building. Yada Bear in the house. Western Conference preview.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to get into some other stuff. Oh, yeah, we're going to touch on the wild card, Major League Baseball wild card playoffs going on right now. Yada Bear got reason to smile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her team came through for her. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get into that. But first, man, listen. Jordan Poole, and I say Jordan Poole's name first because he caught a bad.
Because he's the
Absolutely.
victim.
Absolutely. He's
always
the victim.
Put the victim name first.
Yes, you always put the victim name first in the assault that took place. You know, we gonna definitely get into that. Draymond Green, this, you know, for less of a lack of a better term, mollywopped.
I had
Jordan
that right
Poole.
here.
Like one hitter quitter, bang bang. We're gonna get into it, and we're gonna eventually get around to talking about the Western Conference preview and stuff like that. But right now, we got something else we're gonna talk about. Yeah, that was goody.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh man, like when that video dropped,
I
think I watched it about 10 times. You know, and when I watched it, I was like, oh my God. Draymond just stole him. Like he checked his chin something fierce. And Jordan just went down like a sack of potatoes. Like he just went straight down. And you know, watching it a couple of times, I was like, oh man, Draymond, why you still him on camera? Like you could have waited till you got in the locker room, man. You know, let him talk his trash and then like handle that business in the locker room so that nobody else can witness this and say like Draymond Green is a bully. Because we all know how they look at him in the NBA, you know, as
1
being
second. Josh Bell, 2-1 home run. Padres 2, Mets nothing. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, wow. Sure. Oh boy, Mets. But yeah, Jordan Poole just went down like a sack of potatoes, and you know the way they look at Draymond in the league, you know, as him being like a floor bully and Mr. doing too much, super extra. It was crazy to see that. And the one thing I want to point out too is that when the story first dropped, like a day or two ago,
right,
they just said that a punch was thrown. They never said he hit him. They never said he connected. They just said, "Oh, Draymond Green threw a punch at Jordan Poole."
right.
And we know how the NBA is. We know what an NBA punch is. You know, most of the times when they throw in punches, they not connected. You know, it's a lot of arms flaring around, a lot of pushing and shoving. But when that video dropped, it dropped just like Jordan Poole dropped. I mean, it was like a one-hitter quitter.
It just didn't slide down the wall.
It's like not like my man was knocked out like night. You know,
right.
it was crazy. And you know, when watching the video, you can tell that, you know, Jordan Poole saying some slick stuff, like he doing that little, like I said, that mumbling to himself, but it's loud enough for you to hear it.
Right.
And we all know how Draymond go. Draymond is slick with the mouth. He's going to keep pressing the issue. It looked like he was still stewing in whatever was happening, and to see Poole still talking, you know, under his breath, but still allowing for you to hear it and smiling on top of it. So you know, like when a person's smiling and talking trash to themselves, it just makes you even more heated, you know. And I think at that point, Draymond walked over, and you can kind of read his lips when he was said, "Oh, you ain't gonna do ish," and then walked up on him, pushed him, and Draymond dropped him. You know, it's crazy. I feel like this is another thing to add to the Draymond Green library. As I was telling you, like behind the scenes, I see this as a plot to get him off the team. He's very outspoken. He he does what he wants to do. Like I said, it's not the first incident. He had an
Right.
incident with
That's right.
KD. As you pointed out, he cost the team a finals by doing that
Mm-hmm.
stuff when he stepped over LeBron. Like, why you gonna step over another grown man on the floor on the ground? Like that, like that's not gonna cause a problem. Him having all of those technical fouls and then the flagrant foul and then that basically did change that finals and it cost them that
Oh,
championship.
I know. Okay. I know it was about time for the homie to tap in. Peace to the God. Peace, Carlito, Golden State Warrior fan extraordinaire. So this
Yeah,
is the proper time for him to tap in. Thanks for tapping in, my guy. Everything's everything. We just chopping it up about Draymond right now. Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead,
And
Yada. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I just feel like, for this to come out, the team wanted it out. Someone in that front office wanted it out. It's no way that this video got into the hands of TMZ by some rogue
Right.
employee.
Right.
Somebody has a personal vendetta,
Mm-hmm.
against the team, or they saw the bag and like, oh, can you give me some? Because who's really asking for footage of a practice at Golden State? you know. So I feel like this is something to try to help get him off the team, because if you look at their roster, the team is getting younger, and with them picking up, Kaminga, Wiseman back, they got
Mm-hmm.
Moody. Draymond to me
He's
is,
seemingly like the odd man out.
yeah, he's the odd man out. So what better way to try to get him off your team by making him look even worse in the public eye than he already does?
By using his weakness against him.
Yes, and that's what happens to guys in this league once they figure out, like, oh, this guy is super outspoken. He's real aggressive on the court. He try to easily get underneath your skin, but at the same time, that's also your kryptonite, because they can get underneath your skin easily, as we have seen in the past, by you
Mm-hmm.
getting fined, you getting suspensions,
Absolutely.
you getting technical fouls, flagrant fouls, getting ejected out the game, looking to fight. Like, it's just crazy, and I feel like he's just setting himself up for a letdown. And I think it's really corny that they didn't really that the team not really talking about it. Like, you have to do something. Like, you may have
Right.
to fine him. If not, if you're not going to suspend him, then you may have to fine him. Something similar happened to this with uh, uh, Bobby Portis when he played in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The kid was named Merchants. He punched him
Mm-hmm.
and gave him a concussion, and he got suspended for like 10 games. I think he like broke his jaw, or like fractured his
Yeah,
jaw.
that's. I was
And
getting ready. Part of
yeah, I
stuff. I
think
was going to ask.
yeah,
Did somebody
he
get their
fractured
jaw
his,
broken? That one.
yeah,
Um,
and he got suspended.
Carlito's tapping it again. He says he would have dropped him if he invaded my space like that. He's getting intimidated on the youth instead of mentoring him like Iggy.
Exactly. And
Absolutely
I
right,
agree.
man. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. Yeah.
But I think that Draymond, his reputation precedes him. Again, it's a lot worse now that everybody's seen it. Now you put a visual on it. Now everybody's imagination was running buck wild with he
Yeah.
punched them, they broke it up. It was a Stephen A's like
It was an
it's nothing,
exchange.
nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now that we see this video, I look at the demeanor of the people that were around. A lot of them were just looking away and didn't come to Jordan Poole's defense or didn't try to step in between them. The way even that Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry, they're talking about it as if, they got to deal with it. But this is our thing. But it's not your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once that tape came out and became public, now you got to do something. Adam Silver's got to do something. Because if they don't, you're going to have people running around the league snuffing everybody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I said, we was talking behind the scenes, or we was talking on a previous show. I said, this is kind of like reminding me of like how they presented it at first before we saw the video. Like Aaron Donald swinging helmets at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I'm
you know what I mean?
He got helmets swinging around.
Yeah, he got helmets going all over the place. Yeah. But it's like the reaction was, oh well, that's the NFL. They practice. They got to let loose some aggression and this and that and the third. But if he would have hit somebody in the head, they would have fell down. You know what I mean? And let alone the CTE thing that we're dealing with in the NFL. Let alone that. But that's okay. It's so far. Yeah, Come on now.
It's like a concussion week in the NFL.
You know what I mean? Which punch was worse? Kareem to Kent Benson or Draymond Green to Jordan Poole? When Kent Benson hit Kareem in the stomach and Kareem
tried to kill him.
Kareem, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Kareem hit him. Yeah, because he tried to kill him.
Yeah, he tried to. But he hit him in the stomach. He was like, "What?"
You know what?
I
may have to take it back. I may have to say this was worse because at least Kareem was fighting the enemy. You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
You the opposite team. You the enemy.
Right.
We supposed to be brothers in arms.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, we supposed to be family. And think, how can I trust you? You know, I can't trust you. Now I gotta look behind my back in the locker room because I don't know. I might say something.
Yeah, you might feel some kind of way. Right. That's right. Michigan State might lost a game, and you might kind of snuff me. Carlito said, yeah, it's worse from the video leak. Somebody's about to lose a job. Yep, we spoke on that. Mm-hmm. The league got to do something, or it's about to get buck wild. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I know Vernon Maxwell is like, word. It's like that.
Right? Like people, you just fighting your teammates now. Like it was just crazy. It just put him in a terrible light.
Right.
It's just nuts. Like just to see him act this way at practice and like you said, like why nobody stepped in or everybody was standing around while it's going back and forth. You know why they was doing that? Because that's regular with Draymond. You know, it's like we had a great practice despite Draymond nonsense. Draymond always got to have something to say. Draymond always got to do a little too much, and I feel like it's getting tiring on the organization. I feel like
on the team, right.
Yeah, I feel like they have to step in and find him. I think that if Jordan Poole was injured, that would cause him to miss games, then you suspend him. But I think a nice hefty fine from the team should do. You know, hopefully, you know, there won't be no reports about that Jordan Poole had a concussion or, you know, something.
Yeah, I hope not.
Like that.
The way he got hit, he might have had a concussion.
Yeah, like he might have a concussion.
Yeah, so I just feel like, you know, from that perspective, that would have been handled a whole totally different way. I was always taught if, you know, somebody's invading your personal space, they get zapped right away. Don't invade my personal space, especially if I didn't invite you into my personal space. If you come to my personal space, I don't know what you got on your mind, yo. So before I let you get one off on me, I'm going to get one off on you. And then if I made a mistake, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I didn't know that wasn't a time that you was on.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is, it's like, I got to get one off on you because the way it look like right now, you might beat me up. So at least I got one off and they could be like, oh, okay.
And the other thing about it is when he walked up on Jordan Poole, like, Where is he from? You say he's from Milwaukee. Like they don't teach him in Milwaukee to put your joints up. Like when somebody
it was like told like you just want to let him walk in your space and
right.
lean up on you like that, and was probably talking about your foul stuff.
And then you go, and then you. But see, here's the thing: you can't even play the victim because you pushed him first.
You pushed him. If you gonna push, that push gotta be followed up with a punch.
Yeah, then you gotta assume the position, push him and assume the position.
Because Draymond
pushed him and act like that was it.
Draymond did not think once or twice about punch. As soon as he
left his feet,
bam.
He was on some Roman Reigns Superman punch stuff.
Yo, as soon as he pushed him, he just came.
From bang and bang. I don't know, but we going hear some more about that down the line. But we just wanted to put that in the air right now. But we about to get into this thing. Shout out to the homie Carlito. That's the big homie right there. The Western Conference Finals preview. Yeah.
He's not about that life.
Nah, he not about that life. He ain't about that life.
Paul definitely not about that life.
He ain't about that life.
Yeah, but
but he I bet you gonna take some karate lessons.
he better take some lessons.
He better send a Twitter message to Vernon Maxwell
for some lessons.
With Charles Oakley or somebody.
He better make a phone call like, yo, how am I supposed to like square up with this guy?
Man, like son. But like your whole technique was off, B. You had no chance. You had your hands down. You didn't have no type of defensive posture or nothing. He bought it from left field.
Yeah.
He bought it from left field. Boom! Yeah. Like, man. Man.
Yeah, man.
Wow, B. But que sera, whatever will be, will be. Yep. We in the building. This is Down to In Sports. I'm left-handed. Get at me at RM Des on Twitter. You know the vibes. That's Yada Bear over there. Know what I mean? And we in the building. So now we're going to get into what we came here for. To chop it up about the Western Conference. As you know.
We're going to start with Golden State since we're talking about
it. I mean, since that's the fact. Carlito's in the building, so we might as well start with Golden State. Yeah. Go ahead, Yada. I'll let you set it off. Go ahead.
Well, they are the defending champs. They do have who I consider right now this generational GOAT and Steph Curry out there. With Wiseman coming back healthy, the second year of Kuminga and Moody, hopefully, they get a lot of more burn this season. Clay coming back, at the beginning of this season, he should be stronger and hopefully have his legs underneath him. To me, they the team to be beaten until someone's beat them. They the defending champs. I don't really see anybody else really with this much firepower in the West that can dethrone them from going to the finals again. Wiggins, Poole. As long as everybody stays healthy, as Colin say, as long as everybody stays healthy, they are unbeatable. And like we saw what they did last year without Wiseman. Without him. Now that he's back, he looks really good. It looks like he was working on his game, during that whole year break. Steph Curry still going to do Steph Curry things. Clay, hopefully he have his Splash brother back. And I'm hoping that Poole has a really good season and Wiggins. I'm a huge Wiggins fan too, I feel like Wiggins gets lost when we talk about the Warriors because we always, talk about Steph, Clay, Poole, Draymond, and it seems like Wiggins kind of get left like the afterthought. But Wiggins to me is like one of the most important pieces on the team because he's a two-way player.
Absolutely.
He's guarding your best player. On the opposite team. Hopefully, and with Clay coming back at the beginning of the season and being more healthy hopefully this season, he can have his defensive presence shown too because Clay is also a very good defender. So if he can show his defensive side a little bit more. I'm just, like I said, the Warriors are the champs until someone else beats them. That's who I see, in the finals coming out the West.
Um, when you talk about the Western Conference, you talk about the Golden State Warriors specifically. I think last year was a trial by fire. Nobody really expected them to do the things that they did.
I did.
They kind of expected them to kind of tread water, and they just kept on rolling because it's the Golden State Warriors. Experience factor. Like I'm with you, Andrew Wiggins. I talked about him all last season. I thought Andrew Wiggins was, like you said, the most important dude. What did Andrew Wiggins do? If Andrew Wiggins shows up, then the Warriors roll. The kid Moody, Kuminga, Wiseman, those guys had a year of experience. Coming off of a championship run to interact and intermix with the Currys and the Draymonds and those guys, you know what I mean, and the Clays of the world, and learn from them. I mean, they got the best experience that they could have is by being in the finals as so young. You know what I mean? So now they know what it takes to get there, and now they have to learn what it takes to get back. And so with that veteran mix, go with those youngsters, I think that Golden State could definitely make some moves, but I think that their road to the finals is not going to be as easy as people think it's going to be. Because I think there are a couple of teams in the West that can make some noise if everything falls right.
Yeah, for example, it's going to be tough. I agree. It's going to be really tough for them to repeat this year, even though I thought last year was tough for them also due to the fact that they had injuries. Clay coming back from his injury, and then Seth going down with his ankle and his foot injury. So I think this season is going to be tougher than last season because there are teams that's looking and ready to take on that challenge. And one of the teams I think is also the Grizzlies, as Carlito also put out there.
Yeah, Carlito mentioned Memphis.
The Grizzlies, to me, they will go as far as Ja goes. That's the way I see them. They have a lot of young talent. I feel like with Bane and Brooks and Jerry Jackson Jr. Emerging themselves as stars in this league, they have a real chance to get into the finals or at least competing for it seriously. But yeah, I like the Grizzlies. They're young guy. They just have to stay healthy. I feel like Ja has to stay healthy, and I feel like he has to step up his game just a little bit more. Hopefully, he's been working on the outside shot.
When you talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, they're not going to sneak up on anybody this year. 56 wins is nothing to sneeze at. Hopefully, like you said, as Ja goes, that's how they move. Jaren Jackson, hopefully he won't, he'll be back, around January or sometime like that. But I think when you talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, I think you got a couple of guys that are expected to do work like John Morant. Then you got Desmond Bane, who's playing in his contract year.
Yeah.
So hopefully, he'll do some more things and make it happen. But I think that it'll come down to how Memphis adjusts to people being ready for them, being prepared for them, and how Jaren Jackson comes back, around when around the new year, maybe when he comes around. But Memphis is definitely going to be a contender. I think Minnesota is going to be in the mix. Let's not forget about Denver. You know what I mean? Because they got Jamal Murray coming back. You know what I'm saying? So with Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic. So again, there's a lot of things going on in the West. But I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves because I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves might be creeping on the come up. It's the year one of the Rudy Gobert experiment. Scherzer just gave up another home run. And I think, Karl Anthony Towns, even though they gave up a lot to get Rudy Gobert, that defense is going to be very, very formidable. I think he and Carl Anthony Towns are gonna mesh real quickly. I think they're gonna mesh real quickly. And even with all of that said, their best player is still Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? So again, with those two dudes in the post, guarding the paint, holding the basket down, and Anthony Edwards being that scorer. Then they have I got guys like I think D'Angelo Russell and people around them to make this team formidable. That's going to be another squad in the West that is going to be a serious challenger to the Golden State Warriors. The New Orleans Pelicans. I watched them the other night.
Well, hold on. Before you go to the Pelicans, let me say this about the Wolves. Then say about the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, I try to like this team. I try.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to like Cat. You know, I try to like him.
Right.
And I just can't. Because this was supposed to be his team. You know.
Right.
This is supposed to be
and it's never been. Right.
And like I said, it has never been his team.
It's never been his team.
Anthony Edwards came in. I like Anthony Edwards a lot. He came in and he took over the team. This is his team now.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy Gobert to me, I don't think he's not worth that money that they paid and what they gave up for this guy.
They gave up a lot, right?
Yeah, they gave up a whole lot for him. He's not worth it. That's why the Jags was so easy to let him go. He's an offensive liability. They keep saying how great of a defender that he is, but I constantly always see guys get around him. He stay getting scored on. Just because you're tall and you block a couple of shots here and there, don't make you a great defender. You know, the Wolves, you know, they will be entertaining, but they're not a true contender to me. Like I like D'Angelo Russell. I think the guy can ball. I don't trust Cat at all. I don't trust him at all. And the one thing I have noticed about him too, there's always something with his health. He lost so much weight because he was sick. They say it wasn't COVID. They say it was just some type of illness that he had. And he lost like 17 to like 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to take effect on him on the court too. He's not a really good defender. Also, he gets burned all the time, a lot, and sometimes he get lost in the game. In the playoffs, where was he? Where was Cat during the playoffs? He was nowhere to be found.
Missing in action. He was in Miami. He was missing the action.
He was on vacation already while these other guys was out there balling, you know. And real quick, you mentioned Denver. I like Denver a lot too. I'm a huge fan of Jamal Murray. I'm so glad to see him back. And Porter Jr. You know, I like them too. So with these two guys being back, also with the guys they have there like Bones Howland, you know, I'm not even going to talk about Joker because we all know what Joker does. But to me, with having Murray back and Porter Jr. is going to lift them up a lot to go with the young core they already have there that took their place last season. If everyone stays healthy, they are a contender in the West.
And they added Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Yes, that was a great pickup for them. Now, when you think, are they going to be better than the Warriors? I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't see it because as good as Murray, Joker, Porter, they got Eric Gordon, you know, Bones Howland, KCP. They still it's not as good as the Warriors.
Right.
I mean, they're going to make it tough. I still don't see it, you know, better than the Warriors. Who you want to talk about next?
Let's talk it up. Let's talk about New Orleans, and then we're going to get into the Dallas Mavericks.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you look at the Pelicans, it's all about Zion. Zion. He looks great. I think this is the best that Zion Williamson had looked ever. You know, um, he looks happy. He looks upbeat. He looks great to be back with the team because now they have a team.
Mm.
But my only question with them is, who is the leader? Who's the leader of the team? Is it going to be
Um,
CJ? Is it going to be Brandon? Is it going to be Zion? Who is the leader? So I'm looking at them, seeing who's going to step up and take ownership of being the leader of the squad, and hopefully that they all can mesh together. Because CJ look at himself as a star. You know, Zion look at himself as the star of the team. Like he's the team. He's been gone for a whole year, and CJ kind of slid into that spot. So it's going to be, are they going to be able to mesh well together? And who's going to be the leader of the squad? And can Willie Green coach this squad? Because you can have a squad of stars and excellent players, but the coach might not be right. He might not be the right person to coach this young team because it's still a fairly young team.
right, absolutely, and that was gonna segue into my comment in regards to who is the leader. I don't think that um this team is ready to have an established leader. The last leader that they had wasn't really that, and they ended up shipping him to the Lakers. So I think that let the Zions and do their thing. They have a veteran in CJ McCollum who can kind of like reel these guys in when they get out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Willie Green. He's a right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
he's dealing with prosperity now. There's no
Hmm.
excuses. You can't say, "Well, if we had Zion,"
Well, now
because they went
Zion,
to the
now
playoffs last
Zion's
year.
here.
They went to the playoffs last year without Zion.
Exactly. So now you got Zion. So now I'm
That
expecting you
right,
to get
right.
to the playoffs, to the second round, make some
Mm-hmm.
noise.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see backsliding. Now you got Zion.
Right, right. A healthy Zion, like you said, a happy Zion, a bright-eyed Zion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so it looks like New Orleans might be able to kind of like do some things now. They can kind of like exhale and say, "Okay, we got our team. Now let's go."
Hmm.
You know what I mean? The Dallas Mavericks. Where are we at with Luca? I mean, he's in the situation where he's over there playing in Europe. He's going to need that energy for when June rolls around. He's one of the favorites for the MVP. I don't know. They'll be without Jalen Brunson. He's playing for the Knicks. I think Spencer Dinwiddie can make up some of that, but I don't know. Um, Tim Hardaway Jr. He's coming back from an injury. Then they added Christian Wood. So I mean, it's a lot of things going on with the Dallas Mavericks, and I think that they want to be considered as one of the teams in the West. But I think like they're one of those teams, Yada, that get in their own way. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, they are in Dallas. So,
Yeah.
um, but man, it's just Luca. It's Luca,
Right.
Luca,
And,
Luca.
and,
That's
and
all
Luca,
they got.
Luca, Luca.
That's all they
Right.
got is Luca. When you look at last season, you can't really build off of last season because there was a lot of injuries on these teams.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Kawhi, no Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
These are teams that was injured that are generally in the playoff hunt. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
has a really good claim on the
Right.
playoffs. So when I look at this Mavs team,
Mm-hmm.
it's Luca and the Temptations.
Luke, ain't nobody come to see you, Luca.
I mean, they added Christian Wood, but
Right.
like I need to see what Christian was about because he came from the Rockets where the culture was losing. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about losing in Houston.
I think when you
And
talk about, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
I was gonna say, and when you've been in that environment for so long, that you go somewhere where they expect you to win, it's like, how can you live up to that? And I
Mm-hmm.
just, and Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a part of the guys. I can't just say, oh, Luca, Spencer, blah blah blah. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Luca and the guys. Luka in the Mavs. He's a part of the Mavs. So I feel like they need something more. And he needs a consistent second scorer. And to just let Jalen Brunson go, they didn't really fight for him like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was his second guy.
Right.
And now he's gone. So now everything is on his shoulders. And they will go as far as Luka take him. And Luka is probably good for a first round.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, again, it's always like that with the Dallas Mavericks. It's either they can, get to the Western Conference Finals or they can lose in the first round. So it's whatever with them. We're going to move on to the Los Angeles Clippers. I think that, they have top shelf talent and depth to overcome, what they've been dealing with in the past with the injuries. Kawhi Leonard is back. Hopefully, Paul George is back. And, John Wall, we're going to see, what a new situation and environment out there in LA can bring out of John Wall. But I think their past is still going to be their biggest shadow. They're going to have to really overcome and impress people to get people to believe in them. I mean, because we've seen this movie with the Clippers before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This to me with the Clippers is championship or bust. This is what it is to me.
If they can make it to the finish line. Right.
Yes.
Healthy, right.
If they can stay healthy, because Kawhi is back. Kawhi. We always praise Kawhi. Mr. No management.
Kawhi.
Okay? Kawhi. Everywhere he goes, he wins a championship. He has proven that twice. So now we're still talking about this Kawhi and Paul George experiment. This has been one of the longest experiments that I have seen, because this is going on
in the history of experiments.
Yeah, this has been like the longest experiment ever. And now they bring in the addition of John Wall, who hasn't played basketball in over a year.
Yeah, he was dealing with a lot of other stuff, personal stuff. He was dealing with
a lot of personal stuff, a lot of mental stuff, and also injuries. And he's older.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how these, again, chemistry, how these guys mesh together. John Wall is used to playing in a certain way when he was in Washington and when he did play those couple games in Houston,
right,
really fast pace, up and down, running gun, shooting the ball. Where now when he's with the Clippers, these guys are slow pace, They have court offense, especially with Kawhi and Paul George, and you gotta feed these guys the ball. So I'm hoping that Ty Lue can get these guys over the hump now that he had his weapons back. There's no more excuses. There's no more excuses for the Clippers. It's like either you're going to be good or you're going to be the Clippers.
Right.
It's like you're going to be good or you're going to be the Clippers, and they have to stay healthy. Like, it's no way around it. They got to stay healthy.
No doubt. That's what it is. I mean, again, the Clippers, the same thing. We've seen this song and dance from them before, and it's always, very, very optimistic in the beginning. Then reality starts to set in, and somebody gets hurt, and here we go. Yep. The Phoenix Suns. 2 years ago, they won the West. Last year, they had the best record in the league. They returned a lot of guys from that, those teams. Devin Booker, we know about him. DeAndre Ayton, he's a question mark again, but I don't think he's really sweating that contract situation too much. Mikal Bridges, I don't know what the situation is with him and his thing, but Chris Paul, another year.
Another one.
Talking about getting old, you know what I mean?
He is old.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's gonna have to, he's defying age, but I think that the competition in the West, like we're talking about right now, has got really thick. So it's not gonna. This might be his worst or his hardest road to hoe to get to that Western Conference Finals or NBA Finals that they've been in the last couple of years. So I don't know. The Phoenix Suns, I think that they're going to take a backside with the other stuff that they got going on with the ownership and all of that. So, you know, go ahead.
I mean, the question is, how long will Chris Paul be there? You know, to me, I'm not a Devin Booker fan at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker to me he's a fake superstar.
Mm.
Because you think that like he does a lot of good things, and it's like, oh, this guy's a star, he's a superstar,
Mm.
As soon as Chris Paul is not on the court, everything goes boom. They forget how to play basketball. Devin Booker cannot carry this team. He's not a leader of this team. Okay, even though you have Chris Paul, who is like the quote ultimate leader of like the league, because he's the president of the NBA,
Player Association.
Mm-hmm. Devin Booker is not he's not a leader. He don't jump into the leadership role when Chris Paul is out, and that's a lot. Chris Paul is hurt a lot, and that means that the Suns is a wild leader a lot of the times, and Devin Booker is not that person. He cannot carry the team. Anthony Ayton, he has never been the guy.
Right.
When he came into the league, it was so much, oh, this guy is amazing. This guy is gonna be out here. He can play in the inside.
Carlito said a fake superstar.
Fake superstar. He gives you he like, you think of him like, when you think of his name, you're like, this guy is a star. He's a superstar. But then when you look at him play and then you see how the game is progressing, it's like, wait a minute. If you're the superstar, why are you guys losing by 5 or by
right?
6
And why are you so?
and
why aren't you a presence in the game? Right,
yeah,
right.
Like, why? That's like you being a wide receiver. You got 2,000 yards receiving and no touchdowns. You didn't put you've been running sideways, sideline to sideline instead of to the end zone. Like those yards.
You're running like Sean Alexander, east and west. Right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be more north and south.
It don't equal win. So to me, Devin Booker, as many 3-point shots he made, as many circus shots he make, it don't equal into wins. And Ayton, to me, he's not the guy. He will never be the guy. And I see them losing in the first round if they get there, because guess what they did? They lost to the Mavs last year, who just had Luka. They lost to a team with one superstar. So if you can't outmatch the other team's superstar, then Devin, you are not a superstar. You the other Kardashian,
You're the Diet Coke of superstars.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh.
Yeah, this is where it gets kind of sticky. I'm not really one to go by, what you expected to do. Either you're going to do it or you're not. As everybody knows, I'm not the biggest LeBron dude in the world. He's proven me right on plenty of occasions. But this year, I kind of feel like, you know what? LeBron is not going to be expected to carry the load. He's going to be the guy that kind of does it towards the end of the game. They're going to have to save him. They're going to have to conserve him. Some kind of way, Darvin Ham has got to figure out a way that he could keep LeBron, stronger and more motivated as maybe we get towards February and March, as you start really battling for that playoff thing. The beginning of the season, he's going to be a facilitator. He's going to get everybody else involved. Anthony Davis is supposed to be the big guy on his team. He's going to have to be the big guy on his team. Okay? I think that LeBron is just going to kind of like, sit back. And not when I say sit back, that is not saying he's going to be inactive. he's going to definitely play a major part of the role. But I think Anthony Davis is going to take a heavier part of that. And Russell Westbrook, he's the question. He flopped in LA in his first year. He can't make a jump shot no more. He's a guy that's living on. He's playing on fumes. He's living off a past reputation. I think he still wants to get another triple-double to prove he can still, be among the top players in the league. What Darvin Ham has in front of him is not really a lot of expectations. The Lakers, as we already know, the last couple of years, they haven't been the best defensive team in the world. They got to put it all together, and they hope somebody else that we talked about earlier, Phoenix, Dallas, the Clippers, Memphis, somebody has struggles where the Lakers can kind of slide in there and make some things happen. But if that doesn't happen, that means those other Western teams are beating up on the Lakers. So, again, I think especially for a team like the Lakers, a fast start is very, very important to them, especially this year. Because, again, the competition in the West has always been good. But this year, it just seems like, it's more teams in the mix that we could talk about. And I don't know what the Lakers are going to do, but I think that they got to put it all together. They can't start off slow. First 20 games, they got to be at least, 13 wins, at least. First 20 games, at least. If they're 10-10 in the first 20 games, that's a problem.
Well, this is what I got to say about the Lakers. Make the trade to the Pacers. Why are you holding on to these future first-round picks? Make the trade. Trade Russell today. Trade him last week. Go find a time machine. Go back in time and never bring him to the Lakers. How about that?
Uh-oh.
Get him off this team. Russell Westbrook is a guy that live off of past accomplishments. What you did in OKC and what you did in Houston does not work in LA.
It don't even rate. Nobody cares about that. Nobody remembers that.
Nobody cares about that.
Right.
But it doesn't work in LA. He has never been a great shooter. He's been one of the, if not the worst shooter in the game, who constantly take shots.
He shouldn't be taking.
So many 3-pointers, so many mid-range where they are all bricks. Like, stop shooting the ball. Father Time is now knocking on LeBron's door. How many more years do this guy have to get to the Lakers? When they made the deal to bring Anthony Davis here, it seemed like the idea for the Lakers in the perfect world was for Anthony Davis to be able to take over the reins from LeBron. But that has never happened because Anthony Davis, or who I like to call Mr. Glass, is always hurt.
Hold up. Shout out to Carlito. He says we're putting Russell Westbrook out the pasture. Absolutely.
Oh, he putting himself out.
He put himself out there.
Okay, because I never understood. I never understood how a guy plays the game from 0 to 100 all the time. You don't have to be on 100 every possession.
Right.
He is Mr. Turnover. He turns over the ball constantly, making stupid passes all the time, dribbling off his foot, trying to make something out of nothing. It's like, give it up. And here's the writing on the wall. They brought in Dennis Schroeder. They brought in Pat Beverly. So now we have 3 point guards plus LeBron, who's a point forward because Jimmy handles the ball. What part of the game are you going to impact, Russ? You can't be in the game in fourth quarters when the game is close.
When you're
But you're a
supposed to be in the game, that's
liability. You're
right.
supposed to
That's
be
right.
out there. We
Right.
paying you 40
That's
something
right.
million dollars, and you're not even there doing money time. I can't have you on the court then, you know? So it's like, make the trade, Lakers. Where's the shooters? Where are your shooters? You're supposed to have shooters around LeBron so that he can pass the ball out of these double teams that he's going to constantly get. He is your floor general. He's supposed to have shooters around. Where are the shooters? They're not there. So the Lakers is going to be another tough season for LA. It's not going to be the same purple and gold product that Lakers fans are used to seeing. And I feel like they're going to really start turning on LeBron because they're gonna expect so much from him because he has already given them so much that I think it's gonna end bad. Either he's gonna get injured
It's
or like I said, the tide's gonna turn on him, and as much as he's beloved, he might start getting hated with being out there because he has also made a lot of poor decisions for the organizations, along with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. So it's not really looking up for the Lakers. They need to make the trade with the Pacers. They need to bring in Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. You need another center and you need a shooter. At least Buddy Hield can put the points up, put the shots up. Get Russ out of there. If they make their trade, then it will potentially look better. It will still be a lot tougher because there's other teams that's better than the Lakers right now. But at least they will have a fighting chance. Right now, with Russ on their team,
He's a liability. Yeah, he's
yeah,
supposed to be an asset. He's definitely a liability.
yeah.
Absolutely. What are we doing with the Portland Trailblazers? I mean, they improved more than most teams this off season. They added Jeremy Grant, Gary Payton, the third, the second, the second and the third. You know what I mean?
Second, third,
Um,
fourth, fifth.
uh, and Damian Lillard, expected him to come back. He had the abdominal muscle thing last year. Are we expecting the Portland Trailblazers to be at least a play-in team?
They might be a playing team. I'll give them that because of the respect I have for Dame, as a player and as a shooter. But I think it's past Dame time. I think Dame should have been left Portland. I don't understand why these guys feel like they should have loyalty to these teams that drafted them because guess what? They will trade you like this. We have seen it. We have seen it happen. So I feel like, in the NBA, one of my favorite things to say is you either want the money or you want the championship. You generally can't have both. And it seems like Dame keeps picking the money all the time. He's not picking championship. I don't care that they got Jeremy Grant. Really? You gonna give me Jeremy
You
Grant?
said, really?
You give me Gary Payton the second, the
Yeah,
third, the
one
fourth,
of
the
those Gary
fifth.
Paytons, the second, the third.
Yeah.
What are the teams?
All right, he'll give me some defense, but what else are you giving me, Portland? Like it's still the same. The Trailblazers to me is always the same team. They just change out the players. It's always the same team, but just a different player that plays the same role as the person that just left.
Right.
Except for Dame is always there. So I feel like Dame just need to go. Like I don't understand why are you holding on? You're not going to win anything there. You will never be an NBA champion in Portland. That's just
All
how it
right,
is.
we got the Western Conference locked down. Now we're gonna get into
Wait a minute.
some. Oh, we
Wait a minute.
got some teams left. I know we got some teams left.
Yeah.
We got some teams left. But I just wanted to say these teams that we have left are kind of like that. That's why we left them for now. We want to talk about it. Yeah, we want to talk about that stuff first, and now we're gonna talk about teams like Sacramento, Utah. A team that was never never usually in this part of the conversation, the San Antonio Spurs. You know what I
Houston
mean?
Rockets,
Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunders.
Matter of fact, let's start with them. Because I mean,
They
wow.
bad luck started at the draft.
Yeah, let's start with them. Chet Holmgren, the number 2 overall pick.
Who?
He's going to be out for the year with a foot injury. I think that it's kind of a sort of a thing where Oklahoma City wins and loses in this context. What I mean by that is they lose because they don't have Chet Holmgren in his rookie year, but they can win by getting him healthy next year. They're going to probably be in the lottery, so they'll get 2 lottery picks. They'll have Chet Holmgren coming back and whatever they get. So I think that it's a blessing and a curse. Jay Gilgeous-Alexander gives the Oklahoma City Thunder fans a reason to come to the arena.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh Giddey has to step forward. Those guys, Lou Dort and Darius Baisley, they have to keep continuing to step up. But again, people are going to be leaving. A lot of Oklahomans. You think the Broncos fans left early? You think the Cardinals fans left early today?
Cardinals fans left early.
You think they left early today? But the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to be in for a long season. The excuse is going to, and I'm going to say it's an excuse because they weren't going to win 50 games with Chet Holmgren anyway.
Oh, no,
so
not at all.
Let them just continue to have this to be a developing season. Let them, get their youngsters together and do their thing. Carlito said they're about to tank for the 7-4 kid. They ain't got a tank. They're going to lose games anyway.
All these teams
you're right. You're right. They're going to end up, you're right. Victor Wembanyama.
All these guys we talking about are in the tanking bracket for this.
Yeah. All these guys are in the tanking bracket.
This is what we consider the tanking.
These are the suspects, the usual suspects.
This is our usual suspects right here, okay? Because all these guys are going to be fighting for position to get as much ping pong balls in that goddamn thing.
And yada, you score. No, you score. No, you score. You score.
They're gonna have people shooting. They're gonna have people shooting from beyond half court. Okay,
right.
Just throw it up. Just throw it up.
They're gonna be double dribbling. They're gonna be carrying.
It's gonna be.
They're gonna be starting fights with the fans. They ain't gonna have enough people to play the game.
Everybody gonna have COVID.
Right? Everybody gonna have COVID. Everybody gonna be all sick. Oh man, they're gonna be thinking of ways to take. But I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the Thunder, the Rockets. The Rockets to me, it has been tanking for like 3 years to me. I feel like they've been tanking for like 3 years straight. Because one thing is Eric Gordon. Why are you still on this team? Why is Eric Gordon still coming off the bench for this team? Why are you still on this team? Like, it's time for you to go. And these guys, they're gonna continue to tank. The Spurs. Oh my God, we already seen. They started quiet tanking when they traded the kid. What's his name? Murray away. Like they started quiet tanking. And I'm looking at Pop like, well, Pop, I thought you was retiring. Like, why are you still back?
He's taking the retirement talk.
Like,
he's taking on that.
Like you traded your best player away for nothing. So it's like these guys, yes, they are quiet tanking like right now. The Kings, the same thing with the Kings. It's like I will not be surprised if De'Aaron Fox get traded by or on the trade deadline because these guys going to be tanking for the kid too. It's like the Kings roster is trash. Only person got is Fox. So I will not be surprised if Fox is traded this season during the season because those guys are all tanking for Victor the Jazz. You trade away your 2 best players. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. You guys are rebuilding or you're tanking on the low. You know, you're muted.
That's the team. That's the team, the Utah Jazz, that should have put a fake mustache on when they was trying
Ooh,
to tank. Because Lord have mercy, they traded Rudy
exactly.
Gobert. They traded Donovan Mitchell. Like,
Yes.
I mean, they should have been trying to convince somebody that they wasn't trying to tank. But again, at the end of the day, if you're going to break it down, break it all the way down and start all over.
Yeah.
The key to the season is to get Colin Sexton ready. They got the kids like Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
Mike Conley's still around. God knows
Why?
what reason. But
Why? I'm pretty
you
sure Jordan
know,
Clarkson going to probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Clarkson get traded during the
mm,
season. I
yeah.
wouldn't be
So
surprised for that.
this is going to be a crazy season because again, everybody's trying to
Exactly.
get that kid, and then there's another kid right behind him. So
That's in the G
tanking,
League. That's in the G
yeah,
League.
that wouldn't be so bad as a fallback option if you don't
Yeah.
get Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama. You know what I'm
So
saying? So the kid Scoot Henderson,
yeah.
he's
So
a beast
either
too.
way, either way, whoever gets the number one, number two, spot, they get in a quote unquote franchise player, because I can't call him a franchise player yet until
Right,
they
until he
get on
gets
the
to a
franchise
franchise.
and play. But they
Right.
have the potential to be game changing players for this franchise. And yes, Carlito, I agree. I couldn't understand what the Jazz was doing. That's why I'm like, so what, you guys are tanking on the low? That's why I call this quiet tanking. It's like you just gave everybody up. Like they was actively looking to trade Donovan, and they just said, "You know what, Ruby? We don't even care anymore. Where you want to go? You
We don't
know,
even care. We don't even care if it's in the same conference. We don't
we
even care. We just
I don't care if it's
we
the
got to get
next state
rid of
over.
you.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
don't
Let you
care.
let you put your hands all over somebody else's microphones and
Yeah, exactly.
media tables and all of that. You know what I
Mr.
mean?
COVID, you
So
got to go.
but yeah, I mean this thing is gonna be crazy. This whole season is gonna be very exciting. We just wanted to jump on for a little bit to talk about what we thought might happen in the Western Conference. Next week we come in with the Eastern Conference preview, and we're gonna talk about some other things. And we're gonna do a show, yeah, when we do our playoff picks and we do our finals and all of that good stuff. So we ain't leave that out. We just wanted to put some stuff in the air. Anything before we get up out of here?
Um,
Did we forget
watch it.
anybody? We didn't forget
No,
anybody,
no,
did we?
no, no. We
Okay.
talked about it. We talked about everybody.
Okay.
One thing I would say, watch your back out there. People out there sucker punching people.
Yeah.
Protect your jaw.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a strong jaw.
Yeah. Make sure you could, throw your joints up, man. You know what I mean? Salute, Carlito.
Thank you,
Appreciate you, man.
Carlito.
We do this every Tuesday night, man. We do this, man, tonight because we had to get it in. We wanted to talk about it while it's fresh. You can catch
Got
us on
to.
YouTube, StreamYard. Salute to my partner in crime over there, Yada Bear. You know what I mean? And we, you know how we give it up, man. Straight like that. We all over the place with it. Right now, the Mets are
That's right.
leading the
Protect your neck.
Padres 2-0. Earlier today, we had the wild card, Major League Baseball wild card, Cleveland Guardians over the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1. We had Yada's Phillies
That's
with
right.
a historic,
Fighting Phillies.
the fighting Phillies with a historic
Coming
run there
back
in the ninth inning. They scored 6 runs in the
in the
ninth
top of
inning
the
on the
ninth.
road to knock off the Cardinals. The Seattle Mariners went into Toronto and did their thing, so they have a one-game lead in that series. And right now, the New York Mets lead the San Diego Padres in Game 1 of the wild card series, 3-0. We are in the building, absolutely. We do what we do, and we hope y'all doing what y'all do. And we rock out with y'all. Go ahead.
Oh my God! Can we please talk about this terrible Thursday night football game real quick?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like they need to get rid of the Thursday night football games. They are terrible. Yesterday was just another example of terrible game. It was a terrible game. I'm starting to believe now that it's Russell Wilson. It's Russell Wilson because there was plenty of plays that he left on the field.
And when you look at that film, he gonna be sick. He looking at that film earlier today, he gonna be sick.
Oh, he's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, he's sick right after he makes the dumb throws. He had the ball, the way number one wide open for the touchdown. This man threw 2 picks against the Colts. You can't beat the Colts. You can't beat Matt Ryan.
I mean, you know, I get it. And again, at the end of the day, people try to make excuses and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, whatever Paul Hackett is doing, it's not working. Russell Wilson, I knew Russell Wilson came with a lot of stuff with him, the superstar wife and all of that. And what did he do in the last 3 years? Did he have a Super Bowl ring in the last 3 years? I don't think so.
No.
So the memories that people have of Russell Wilson, not to say nothing, I'm not trying to disparage him because he's doing it to himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're throwing in the red zone, you're throwing interceptions like you're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like it's crazy because when I was watching what I watched, because I had to turn it off because, like I said, the game was bad. I couldn't stomach it anymore. Mm-hmm. But what I watched is like, this is not the Russell Wilson that we're used to seeing. Where's the accuracy on the deep ball? Russell Wilson used to have one of the most accurate deep balls in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it reminds you that he's only 5'11". You know? So that was a big reminder too. Yeah, Carlita, I had to turn it off. It was trash. Number one, it's on Amazon Prime.
Right.
Let's just throw that out there.
Right.
That's number one. It's on there. Okay. I have no problem with Amazon Prime, but the fact that you are streaming my live football game on a streaming network, to me, is a little ridiculous. That's why you have the NFL network. You know, you have a whole network for the NFL. That's was the reason why you created that.
That's number one. And then 2, I don't understand how do the NFL think that the product is going to be good with this quick turnaround. Mm-hmm.
They are playing football, not baseball or basketball.
Right, tennis. Right.
And then for the team to have to travel to go play, like, so Carly. But you got me traveling on a Monday, and then to practice on Tuesday and Wednesday to play a game on Thursday. I think this is why we're seeing a rise in concussions.
Somebody in the NFL Somebody in the NFL office had a concussion. They thought that, you know, this would be, you know, it's a way to make some money, because like we always said, we talk about the shows, it always comes down to the economics.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean?
All about the money.
So and if you're out there getting hit and you up there, you try to walk it off, you stagger and you fall down on a Sunday, don't worry about it. We'll put you back out there on Thursday. You're gonna be all right. Don't worry about it.
As we saw with Tua,
absolutely,
what happened with
absolutely.
Tua.
So again, at the end of the day, we're gonna put you, you know, we'll put you on this big platform, Amazon Prime, on Thursday nights, where the whole world can see you if they got Amazon Prime.
If they got Prime.
If they got Amazon Prime. So again, you know, the NFL in their bid to become, you know, more accessible, they become less accessible, less watchable. The excuses and the sympathy, the empathy is getting low for the NFL. People starting to see through it. You know what I mean? The stuff that people were saying, even with that Will Smith film, Concussion, I think was the name of it. I think that, you know, that's more reality than Hollywood.
That's a lot of reality, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the doctor that Will Smith was portraying in that movie had stated that Tua should look to retire.
Yeah, I heard that, yo.
He said he doesn't think that he should return to football.
Right.
And the way that hit looked, and the way that his body spasmed and reacted.
The one in Cincinnati when he got.
Yeah, I totally.
Oh yeah. Like, his fingers was like this.
Yes, it was like he couldn't. He had no control.
Yeah,
like,
you know, he was gone. He was gone for that moment. His shit was all spasmed up. Yeah,
and I'm like, it was it was terrible to watch. And I'm like, wow. And when they're investigating it and they looking at the whole concussion protocol thing, they already fired one of the doctors. I'm like, but more heads need to roll, because who is protecting the player from himself?
Right.
You gotta protect the player, and these teams are not looking to protect the players. They're like,
now,
oh,
let me ask you this,
mm-hmm.
and this is just being a devil's advocate right here. If that was Joe Burrow, would they let Joe Burrow play on Thursday? On Thursday?
No, nope.
And I think you know where I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm picking up what you're putting down. But,
no doubt. I'm just saying.
They definitely wouldn't let the guy play.
I see you, Carlito. I see you nodding your head. I see you. Absolutely. I'm just saying. Like
that's
the first thing to me. You playing on a Sunday.
Joe Burrow would Joe Burrow wouldn't got back in the game on Sunday.
In the first place.
Yep.
In the first place. That's my thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They would have kept him out as a precaution.
Yeah, because
the turnaround. All of this they would have gave you. The turnaround was too quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy for us to say, you know what? Your next game is on Thursday. We're gonna hold you out as a precaution. Why didn't they think about that with Tua?
Yeah, all the hot words, because when you think about it, Joe wouldn't have got back in that game. And they in Miami, again, here comes the Dolphins with the slick stuff. They put it down in the injury report as a back or neck injury.
Right.
They didn't put head.
Right. That's right.
Instantly, you're not playing on Thursday. You are automatically out.
Right.
But now I'm looking at the Dolphins ownership and the Dolphins GM,
absolutely. A lot of people complicit. A lot of people.
Because now this is some more sly stuff.
Yep.
You already got looked at for the stuff with Tom Brady and Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
So now and now you're gonna do this to Tua? Oh, put him back out there? It's crazy.
Right.
So that's really just like if Dre would have smashed Curry, he wouldn't be in the league.
If Draymond Green would have hit Steph Curry, he would have got arrested right there on the spot.
Listen, if Draymond would have walked up, if he would have walked up to Curry like in an aggressive manner, they would pow. He would.
He would have got shot. And that would have been the first thing on Don Lemon's show on CNN. That would have been the first thing. I'm telling you. Man, listen, Ukraine what? The weather what? This dude smashed and beat up the prince of the league. No.
He definitely would have got shot.
No, he would have got shot. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins would have jumped him or something. Steve Kerr would have been kicking him in the head like, yo, all the real would have come out. You put your hands on Steph Curry. All the realism would have came out then, boy.
Aggressively to Steph Curry.
Yep. And man, listen.
Draymond would have went down. Bang.
Yeah. It would have been a problem. Listen, we do what we do. This is Down in Sports Talk, man. We are in the building. We do what we do. Holler at us. We are accessible. You know what I mean? We on the page Down in Sports Talk.
Don't forget to put your picks in.
Absolutely.
Sunday morning game, 9:30.
Absolutely. You already know Giants Packers 9:30 on Sunday morning. All right, from London. So get your picks in and all that good stuff right there. And we're gonna do what we do.
Salute, Carlito.
Salute, Carlito, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. And Carlito, his crew, they do the NBA thing as well. Shout out to Michelle McKinney. You know what I mean? Shout out to that whole unit over there on Facebook. Make sure you check them out. But yeah, we in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, man. Rock with us, man. We doing what we do. And that's basically it. Until next time. Yeah. Have a good weekend. All that good stuff. You got a lot of sports, man. Major League Baseball playoffs, NBA preseason. You know what I mean? College football popping off, NFL, we feel about the NFL and all that good stuff. So, yo, rock out. This is left-handed right here. Y'all the Bears over there. And we're about to get out of here and splurt. Don't go nowhere, y'all. I got you. All right. We out of here, yo. We'll talk to y'all later. Down in Sports Talk. Peace.